When I was office-based, many months ago it feels like, I always had access to a standing desk, which I really enjoyed using. It's surprisingly nice to be able to stand up periodically throughout your day. Now, ever since we've been working from home, which was back in March, I've been considering getting a standing desk for this little office here as well. So when a company called Flexispot reached out to me and asked if I wanted to check out one of their standing desks, obviously, I said yes. So please note, while they did send this desk to me for free, I'm under no stipulation to say anything positive at all the views and opinions, as always, are entirely my own. And here it is. This is the Flexispot EQ4 Standing Desk. Now there are a couple of different coloured frames and desktops available. I went for the silver frame with the black 120 by 60 centimetre desktop. I've had it and I've been using it for a couple of weeks, and so far it's great. It's been working really well. So let's get into it, and first let's start talking about the assembly. It actually comes in two separate packages. You get the desktop come in one package, and then you get the frame and the legs and everything else in a separate delivery. But both arrived safe and sound. They're all really well packaged. There's no damage to either, so I have no complaints there about that. Assembly took about an hour or so with a little bit of help from my wife, but it was all pretty straightforward, honestly. If you've ever put anything together from IKEA, then you know what you're getting yourself into here. It's nothing complicated. Couple of Allen keys, couple of screws, follow the instructions and job done. However, the one thing you'll need is a screwdriver, and I highly recommend getting either a drill or an electronic screwdriver, because you do need to screw directly into the wood a couple of times, which is a right pain to do by hand, and an electric screwdriver just makes your life a million times easier. The frame has a really thick industrial feeling coating on it, which does mean that it's going to last. You're not going to scratch the frame really easily, even if you bash into it with your chair and that sort of thing. And the desktop itself, again, is really solid, feels well made, it feels laminated, it's got a real nice protective cover on it, and again, you're not going to scratch it up easily. Now, one downside to this black desktop is it does show moisture and fingerprints really easily, definitely more so than any black desktop I've used in the past. So if you are doing any photography or videography on the desktop, you will need to give it a good clean beforehand. Stability is also really quite good. I'm on a really soft carpet here, but there's no excessive movement. It doesn't wobble around too much. There is a little bit of wobble, but nothing out of the ordinary, nothing excessive, and it's certainly not noticeable or distracting in everyday use. Now you can control the height of the desk using this little Sano desk control unit. You can also choose where that goes, over on the right or the left hand side. I've put mine over on the right hand side. There's a small LED display panel which shows your current height in centimeters, and then there's a couple of different controls on there. You have up and down buttons to control the height up and down. You then get a sit stand preset, so you can define your standing height and your sitting height. And then you've got 3 and 4 for setting 2 additional height settings as well. So you've got 4 programmable settings if you need them. Now it's a dual motor system, and the motors are located next to the 2 3-stage telescopic legs. There's no drive shafts or moving parts here, which makes it a much nicer setup than some alternatives. And it's also really smooth. I did a quick test with a very full glass of water, and not a drop was spilt even as it reached its highest 125 centimetre limit. As a total weight limit of 125 kilos, which is a lot, really. I only weigh about 95 kilos, so 125 kilos is an awful lot. You're never going to overburden this desk with standard monitors, PCs, and that sort of thing, because 125 kilos is an awful lot of stuff. So you don't need to worry about that at all, really. In terms of height, it'll go from its lowest setting of 60 centimeters all the way up to its highest setting of 125 centimeters. And it'll do that at about 3.8 centimeters per second, which is plenty fast enough. You don't have to stand around and wait as it adjusts from its sitting to its standing. Could it be quicker? Maybe, but honestly, it's not that bad. You don't adjust it multiple times throughout the day. Anyway, you do it every now and again as you're moving from sitting to standing, so it's perfectly fine for my usage. And here it is at 125 centimeters, its highest setting. Now I'm 177 centimeters tall, there or thereabouts, which is about 5'10", and I have it set to 108 centimeters for a comfortable standing height. Using that as a real rough ballpark figure, I think you'd be comfortable using this desk if you're anything below 6'5". Much above 6'4", 6'5", then you're probably going to struggle and it might not be quite tall enough for you. This, however, is far too tall for me. So let's put it back down, shall we? Now it does make a noise while operating, there's a bit of an electronic whine, but it's not too loud, and again, much like the speed, it's perfectly adequate for my usage. You're not putting it up and down all that often, it's not massively distracting. If you've got music on or headphones, you can barely hear it anyway, so yeah, it's not really much of an issue for me. And last but not least, how much does it cost? Well, it's currently £380, and that's for this exact model. So that's the silver frame with the black 120 by 60 centimeter desktop. If you go for a bigger desktop, then the price does increase a little bit. Also worth mentioning that does come with a 3-year motor warranty and a 5-year frame warranty as well. Now, purely for comparison, the cheapest electronic standing desk from the always budget-friendly IKEA is the Becant, which is £415. Now that desktop is actually a little bit bigger, but you get less controls, there's not as many memory settings and that sort of thing, so it's a bit of a toss-up between the two. Overall, I've really enjoyed it. It arrived promptly, all in good condition, it was relatively easy to put together, and it's made a real nice change to be able to stand here and work standing up rather than sitting down all the time. I can just grab my laptop, put it on here, start working, and then if I need to go out, I can grab my laptop and off I go, come back, and it's just a real nice, versatile little space for me to use. On top of that, it's really nice for doing this YouTube stuff. So I can stand here at the desk and do my talking to camera. I've got a light right in front of me and behind me, so that works really, really well. And then whenever I want to do any sort of product B-roll, I can just lower it, I can angle the lights just down a little bit, and then I can shoot any product B-roll without having to move cameras and lights and everything around all over the place. So for me, in such a small place, it makes for a real nice, versatile little workspace. Now, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you get any comments or feedback, make sure to put them down in the comment section below. And if you're new here, you enjoyed this video, you want to see some more tech reviews, odd bits, and some DaVinci Resolve tutorials, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. Thanks ever so much for watching, folks. Take it easy. I'll see you next time. See ya.